Although ponds are very small water bodies as compared to oceans and seas, they also hold many strange and bizarre secrets and creatures in their depths. We have more than 100 million ponds on Earth, which cover 3.7% of the land's surface. We can find all sorts of animals in these ponds, from single-celled organisms who reproduce asexually and develop a fully-fledged colony, to some vicious carnivorous fish. If shorelines of all the ponds existing all over the world are added together, it'll roughly measure 250 times the length of the equator. We must not underestimate the small size of ponds. A whole lot of unbelievable stuff has been discovered in various ponds around the globe from time to time. Today we'll discuss the 15 most shocking things which have recently been found in ponds, so make sure you watch till the end and give this video a thumbs up. Deer rescue. Recently this deer found itself in a precarious situation, but thankfully firefighters in Colorado were called to rescue it. The deer had fallen through the ice at the main reserve of the city. The firefighters guided him to safety with his antlers. They think a coyote might have chased it, forcing the poor creature to bump into an ice-covered pond. A passerby initially informed the local Animal Control Authority officials. The rescue service persons evacuated the deer by breaking a path through the ice. It was standing in the water of the pond, but it was in a tight condition and could not move. After being rescued, the deer was transferred to Lakewood Animal Control officials. While being transported, the deer was warmed up under blankets and finally released after 3 hours. Fire pond. It's a known fact that water and fire aren't friends, but this video of water on fire will make you reconsider this. Methane is a highly flammable gas, and numerous water bodies are producing a lot of it throughout the world. Methane gas is produced in 2 ways. Either it's produced by bacteria who feed on organic matter such as leaves and dead animals which fall into the lake, causing flammable bubbles to come out of the melting permafrost. Due to rising temperatures, the permafrost on the Earth is thawing, and it's creating a hole through the bottom of several water bodies. Methane gas can leak out from these holes, especially during the summer season, and it floats on the surface, and explosive gas is released into the air. Scientists keep constantly monitoring methane, as it is a greenhouse gas and is about 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Cottage Carousel. An energy expert in Finland highlighted that a person just requires a chainsaw and a bit of ingenuity to make life full of fun despite the harsh conditions of winter. He created a nice ice carousel which comprises a circle of ice 187 feet in diameter and 800 tons in mass. It rotates at a walking pace on a frozen lake. It's powered by an electric outboard motor. It has been built by Janne Kopiotto, who started this fun activity in the small town of Logia in front of his cottage. He used a chainsaw to cut a circle on a frozen lake and used an outboard motor for spinning it. He's made about a dozen ice carousels this winter in the metropolitan area of Helsinki. People have enjoyed a live concert on the carousel. Snake friend. Tim Jones, a resident of Texas, is fond of animals and owns his own private pond where a water snake nicknamed Big Bertha lives. Tim loves to fish in his pond. Resultantly, it attracted numerous fish-eating animals. The most frequent visitor was Big Bertha. Bertha moved really slowly and took away fish from his hand. Tim became accustomed to the local reptiles and was kind enough to share his catches with these animals. Big Bertha has been visiting Tim very regularly to enjoy her share. Water snakes found in North America are usually non-venomous and generally do not display aggression. They possess sharp teeth and can cause substantial damage, however. Therefore, Tim maintains a safe distance from Bertha. Bullfrog Builders. It would be surprising to know that Goliath frogs construct their ponds, which provide a safe area for their tadpoles to grow. They're known as Bullfrog Builders, which is the largest species of frog all over the world. They weigh more than 7 pounds and are 13 inches long, excluding their legs. These Goliath frogs are famous for their distinctive pond-building behavior. Researchers using time-lapse cameras collected evidence of the Goliath frogs building their ponds. For this purpose, they had to move rocks weighing over 4 pounds. They're considered to be considerate parents. They build small ponds at the edges of the fast-flowing rivers. It provides a safe haven for tadpoles against torrential waters and predators. Scientists have observed nest-building behavior in frogs earlier, but not at the scale of building aquatic nurseries. These frogs inhabit only Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea. They are dependent on fast-flowing streams and rainforest environments. Caribbean of the Alps. Austria is a magical European country having attractive landscapes and natural sights. It has a natural treasure which is locally known as the Gruner Sea. Green Lake is a beautiful spot frequently visited by locals and tourists till mid-June. By this time, the trails and beaches are submerged in up to 40 feet of water as temperatures rise in the spring, due to which snow in the surrounding mountains melts down into the basin, where exists a pond just 3 to 7 feet deep during the winter. The water here is incredibly cold and clear. The visibility extends up to 160 feet, which provides the lake with its eponymous colour and its nickname, the Caribbean of the Alps. The colour of its water becomes bright green due to the grass at its bottom. This surreal water park is sustained for about a month when the water starts to evaporate again, which restores the park's access. Boiling Pond. The Boiling Lake is situated in a World Heritage Site on the island of Dominica in the Caribbean. It's about 200 to 250 feet across. It is the second largest hot lake in the world after Frying Pan Lake, located in New Zealand. It has bubbling greyish-blue water and is mostly covered in a cloud of vapour. The environment in the area is hot, steamy and moist, and a sharp, acrid smell of sulphur prevails there. In 1870, the lake was spotted for the first time. Researchers found its temperature along the edges varying from 180 to 197 degrees Fahrenheit. They found it to be deeper than 195 feet. The level of water keeps on fluctuating, which causes variation in its size and activities. Sometimes geyser-like fountains of hot water and steam are formed. Occasionally, the lake becomes empty, but it is refilled very swiftly. At times, this cycle of complete draining and refilling of the lake takes place in a single day. It indicates that the lake is situated well above the local water table, and steam or gas generated by an underlying magmatic intrusion pushes the water up in the lake. Swamp demons. These unusual creations found near the brackish marshes in the nature reserve in France may seem a bit demonic to the local, but actually there is nothing like that. Artist Sophie Priesti-Giacomo has a passion to walk into swamps located along the wooden bridges and watch the change in the landscape. During one of her visits, she decided to create sculptures with swamp algae. She had noticed that the texture of the seaweed acted much like human skin. If left to dry, it seemed to turn into a consistent fabric. Initially, she created 2 sculptures. A recent crowdfunding campaign helped her to add 8 more sculptures. These figures have been created with mud and seaweed. Dried algae, the colours, textures and paint-based skin of these sculptures keeps on changing over time along with the organic landscape in their surroundings. Fishing frenzy. During the dry season every year, locals congregate at the sacred Togo Lake located in Mali, West Africa. Fishermen carrying baskets file into the lake and try to grab whatsoever they can as they expect to get a big catch. They have cone-shaped baskets and other handmade tools to fish. About 400 bare-chested men jump into the lake wildly. A gunshot about minutes later marks the end of the fishing frenzy. The lake is a rarity in the country, which consists of mostly the Sahara Desert. The lake is considered to be sacred by the locals, but during this annual festival, they empty it from fish in just a few minutes. Fish caught during the frenzy are collected and then equally distributed among all the villagers by the wise man of the community. Radioactive fish. Rumours spread at different times show that strange creatures are found in the exclusion zone at Chernobyl, Ukraine. In 1986, the nuclear accident took place at the No. 4 reactor in the nuclear power plant located near the city of Pripyat. These catfish seen in the footage live in the cooling pond of the power plant, which acts as a natural reserve. During their efforts to cool down the power plant, workers had to pump radioactive water from the building of the power plant into the cooling pond. Despite the passage of 35 years after the accident, the cooling pond serves as a reservoir for the flora and fauna affected by radioactive elements. Catfish found in this cooling pond in Chernobyl are affected by radioactivity but have not been mutated. They survive conveniently as they have no predators, whereas tourists visiting daily feed them. A new land forming. Recently, this unique clip from India was shared on social media and garnered millions of views. You can see a patch of land rising above the water level in the Indian state of Haryana. The submerged ground rises suddenly, which left the onlookers baffled. The exact location of this happening is not yet confirmed. Some people suggest that the incident might have resulted due to the movement of tectonic plates. However, others think that methane trapped in the earth gets released and lets the wet layer to form a bubble. As per local authorities, it was not a result of the geological event, but rather a result of bad farming practice, as the landowner, for improving the yield, had dug around 9 to 10 feet deep. He filled it with rice husk, ashes and sand on its top, and sowed paddy crops. On the 13th of July, heavy rains took place in the area and water penetrated the buried material. The resultant pressure caused the rise in the land level. Sinkhole Pond. A sinkhole is a depression or hole in the ground which is usually caused due to some type of collapse of the surface layer. They vary in size and are considered to be the wonders of geology. They create unique environments on Earth which include lakes, forests, caves, reefs, and wild species that can sometimes be found in their depths. They change the landscape permanently. Recently, an unlucky farmer in China lost about 25 tons of fish when a sinkhole appeared. Water on his farm used to be 6 feet deep, but suddenly the whole fish harvest drained out with the water. So far, the cause of this incident has not been ascertained, but it is opined that the excavation at the local quarry has resulted in it, as the residents of the area reported that the water level in this pond was observed falling at a dramatic rate, and within just a few hours an abyss having a diameter of 16 feet was left. Such incidents also take place in other parts of the world. In this Florida lake, 3 sinkholes appeared from nowhere. Lake Michigan Crucifix. After a long time, it is for the first time that the infamous Lake Michigan Crucifix is visible. The lake has the only underwater crucifix in freshwater on record. It's situated approximately 260 yards from the shore of the small town of Petoskey in northern Michigan at the bed of Little Traverse Bay. The crucifix is an 11-foot-tall white marble cross with a life-size statue of a crucified Jesus Christ. The story about the statue dates back to 1956. A 15-year-old farm boy died in an accident. His family purchased an 1,850-pound crucifix from Italy for $2,500 and decided to memorialize the boy. The crucifix arrived here in 1962, but during transportation it was broken. It was sold to a diving club which repaired it and installed it in Lake Michigan. It was sighted in 2015 when 2,000 people gathered on the ice. The second viewing occurred in 2019. For this purpose, a hole of 5 feet was cut into the ice for 1,200 onlookers. Fish drop. Fish stocking is a practice in which fish are raised in a hatchery and then released into rivers, lakes or seas for increasing the fish population. Perhaps one of the most popular methods to restock fish is by air. Aeroplanes are fitted with oxygenated water tanks which can carry up to 10,000 fish at a time. Planes cruise at a speed of 70 to 80 miles per hour over the alpine lakes and other mountains, and wildlife pilots can deliver their payloads from 100 feet or more above the water level. You can say it's raining the fish. It's a unique sight to see fish raining from the belly of an aeroplane. The process has been in common practice for more than half a century. Stocking is used to restore the balance of native species. Bryozoans. Bryozoans mean moss animals. The picture seen in this clip shows a large colony of aquatic invertebrates which are bound together by their jelly-like protective sheets. They can be found in freshwater ponds and oceans. They have simple anatomical structures including the mouth, a gut, and a tentacled feeding system. They eat microorganisms. Sometimes these soccer ball-sized masses become more visible when temperatures drop. At the termination of the summer season, the colony starts to decline as individuals die off. On the decaying of organisms, gas is collected in the membrane of organisms which causes the colony to float and become visible. Bryozoans also feed on microscopic organisms. Ancient boat. An archaeological museum excavated the remains of an ancient boat in Poland recently. They discovered the boat at the bottom of a pond. It is one of the largest kind of sailing vessels that were used in the Vistula River during the pre-industrial times. Initially, investigations have revealed that in the 13th century, boats like these were built to navigate the river waters. This type of vessel was used to carry bulk commodities up until the 18th century. The wreck was found in the pond located in a past part of the riverbed. Almost 60% of the hull's mass was perfectly preserved. Later analysis revealed that the timber used in its creation dated back to a period between 1478 and 1481 AD. The excavation teams had to drain out the pond and then manually remove the sand to unearth the entire shipwreck. We hope you enjoyed learning about all these amazing ponds and their secrets. Share your views in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you all next time.